before we start this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time there's a video, every Wednesday at 1, every Saturday at 1. Now, I haven't been to a meeting in a long time, so I'm really out of the loop with these Watchtower studies recently. Haven't listened to a meeting, haven't studied an article, God forbid. Mainly due, my only focus right now is on my own personal life and figuring things out for myself, kind of learning who I am as a person. So, that being said, when I do look at these Watchtower articles or hear something about it, every day I'm surprised more and more by what I see. This is the Watchtower study that they did, I believe it was last week. So, you go here, you click at the Watchtower, December 2022. You have the study articles. It's for study article number 50, You Will Be With Me in Paradise. So, this study here is what the criminal, being on the cross or on the torture stake with next to Jesus, and then he asks, remember me in your paradise, and then he says, truly I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. So there's a lot of issues with this. We're not going to go over all of this whole thing because if we study all of this, honest to God, we might as well do a Watchtower study together, and I am not going to do that. I'm just going to glaze over a couple of things that I noticed. So you'll be with me in paradise. The first issue with this, which is many, is that in the Jehovah's Witness translation, the New World Translation of the Bible, it says, truly I tell you today, comma, you will be with me in paradise. So he's not saying you're going to be with me today in paradise, like when we die, today. No. He's saying in their version, truly I tell you today, comma, I'm telling you this now, you will be with me in paradise. Is that what Jesus actually said? Well, you take a look here, even the Spanish, it says here, yo te aseguro hoy, estarás conmigo en el paraíso. It has this colon. It makes it even more I'm telling you now, here's the list, that you're going to be with me in paradise. But look at the Kingdom Interlinear version of the Bible. Here's the Greek at the bottom, the direct translation at the top. He said to him, amen to you, I am saying today with me you will be in the paradise. No commas there. Now, the Watchtower has an explanation, but I really do not believe that is the case. He told him that that day he would be with him in paradise. So that's just whatever. Whatever. Just barring that fact. That's just one of the many issues. Watchtower studies, when you study it, you will notice right away, having a degree of separation to it, like as I do now, that you hear a lot of these phrases that are insinuating one thing, but they actually are another thing, or they are alluding to a point without actually committing to what they're saying. Loaded words, loaded language, fluff words. So, I've highlighted a couple of points, just like a Watchtower article I would do on my tablet back in the day. Different colors for different paragraphs, right? So, in the second paragraph, okay? We don't know much about the criminal. But, it says here, the study, the repentant criminal was likely a Jew. Was likely. We don't know if he was or wasn't. But, the Watchtower study says was likely, and what that translates to a Jehovah's Witnesses' ears is that they were a Jew, that the criminal was a Jew. That was likely gives them a degree of separation to what they're actually saying. That way they can back out in the future if more light is shown to them, or if they need to change it. They can say they never really actually said that. They tiptoe around their own words. We never said that he was a Jew. We said he was likely a Jew. So they don't commit to what they're saying. And look, you see more of that loaded language here. The repentant criminal may have known about this. Referring to that God revealed to the Israelites that Jesus would raise the dead, right? As his word suggests, He assumed that Jehovah would resurrect Jesus. The man apparently hoped that Jesus would also resurrect him. All these things, they're so non-committal, this phrasing. If I were to give an essay and use this kind of loaded, non-committal language, I would be failed. It would not pass a high school test for your English class on writing essays. This is just bad. And growing up is crazy that you're so used to hearing this sort of language and phrasing that in your ears you hear what they want you to know, but you don't hear how non-committal they are. Because you've been indoctrinated to the point where you take it for granted. You just take it as it is, how it's meant to be taken, without realizing that they have one foot out the door too. So, we keep going to paragraph 3, right? As a Jew, the repentant criminal would have known about Adam and Eve, so the criminal could well have realized that the paradise that Jesus mentioned would be a beautiful garden here on earth. The criminal could well have realized that the paradise would be on earth. Do you understand that what that's saying? They're not saying 100%. The criminal believed paradise was on earth, because that is not a teaching that's in the Bible. Okay, that's a Jehovah's Witness. That's something that mostly only Jehovah's Witnesses teach, based off of their bad translation and their slanted view. Like Google Paradise Earth. Search Paradise Earth on JW, on their library, on their Bible rather, on any Bible. But look it up onto JW Library, into their Bible. See if you find one instance and where the word paradise appears right next to earth. Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, you will find 0 instances of that being the case. Paradise never shows up right next to the word earth. There's only one instance and where that is the case, where it even mentions paradise, and this is the case. It's this. Speaking of this example. And then also in the Psalms, where it says the righteous will possess the earth. Obviously those are songs. So those are not meant to be taken literally. And not only that, but if I'm not mistaken, it's also referring to the Hebrews of that time. So here, the criminal could well have realized this. Yeah. You're making a big old great assumption, Watchtower. One that is so lukewarm that you're not committing to it. That way you could back out later. Keep going. Paragraph 4. Jesus' words to the criminal should move us to think about what life in paradise would be like. So this is the other side of that coin. All this fluff talk, and then the Watchtower throws in those indirect words that are like forcing you into their mentality. This is part of that new personality that Jehovah's Witnesses they put on when they're baptized and become officially Jehovah's Witnesses. Cults, what they do to control others is make everybody have the same personality. That way it's easier to control the constituents. So the Watchtower uses the new personality. Basically, they strip you away of your friends and your loved ones who are not in the quote-unquote truth, the religion. They take away any of your interests that don't conform to what they allow. And they replace that with indoctrination. And, this is a perfect example of what they're subtly trying to get you to believe. So they say the words to the criminal should move us, should do this, that you can do this. All these inclusive words, we, us, should you, them, these are words that put your brain into a wired state to what they're saying. It connects you to their words, not because it's correct, because as we've just seen, they're non-committal words. No, it's that way you can conform to their beliefs. And then when they have new light, it's been so non-committal, You'll just readjust to whatever the new light is. So, actually, we can learn something about paradise. And we can expect that Jesus will work along his co-rulers. We can do this. You may do that. Understandably, the other sheep should be interested in what they need to do to qualify for life in paradise. You see this? You should do this. You could do that. We may do this. We can do that. So, paragraph 5. That's as far as I went because I was not going to go any further. Because this is just like mind-boggling, like from the get-go. What comes to your mind? You may recall the prophecy. So you may see yourself in a beautiful garden. You may imagine the air filled. And you very likely hear the sound of laughter of family and friends. So, they use that tactic for so many ways to put you in a state of like where you're hypnotized and you're shaking your head, you're bobbing your head at what they're saying without actually analyzing the context of what they're saying. They say one thing, the criminal probably did this, probably did that, and you're not thinking about it because you're taking what they say exactly as they say it. And then they push your brain into this whole, you should do this, you need to do that, okay. And then on top of that, and they give you the happy part. See yourself in a garden. Imagine paradise. How beautiful it will be. Don't you want to be there? So they pander to you too. All this stuff is like textbook brainwashing, mind controlling. And it was never as obvious to me before as it is now. Like literally, it's so clear to see. It is so hard to read these Watchtower articles now. I don't know if it's gotten worse or it's just like I said earlier, the degree of separation that I have to it, but it really is just like, oh my gosh, how bad is this writing? If you were to grade this, it'd be like an F or like a D. And not only that, they're talking to us like they're children. They treat the witnesses like they're children, giving them these fluffy words. So, how grateful and happy I am that I'm no longer having to read this tripe garbage and then believe the nonsense that they spew. I'm so thankful. And stepping away from the new personality, which is one that the Watchtower gives to all the witnesses, and coming into my new, who I really am, my true personality, has been a true awakening for me. You don't ever appreciate life as much as you do until you step away from the religion. It really gives you a lot to be grateful for, and I truly am grateful. And thank you guys for watching. Like I said before, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you're aware of all the videos that come out. My videos every Wednesday at 1, and Stuffed Crust videos every Saturday at 1. Take care.